People need to work. People need to have value. Chinese are so dependent on exports that they do anything to get a competitive advantage.
We wonder if we're going to be here next year, to be honest with you. As far as out on the floor, we've never seen it this bad.
I wonder how long it's going to be before there's 0 mills left in towns like Medford. We will continue to go downhill for generations.
We used to run 3 shifts here. That's approximately 150 people that were employed here. Now we're down to 1 shift.
The whole industry's at stake, and we're just going away. It's almost like a cancer that's growing.
What China's doing today to the North American hardwood plywood industry is one of the greatest thefts in the history of our country.
Over the past 2 years, the influx of dump-subsidized Chinese hardwood plywood has captured over 50% of the U.S. market share. If action is not taken by the Trump administration, the entire industry will be wiped out, costing the U.S. thousands of jobs.
When I started here in the late 80s and into the early 90s, we manufactured a lot more panels than we do today. I think the first thing that I saw happen was the furniture industry moved out of North America, and most of the furniture that we see today is manufactured offshore. In the last decade, we've seen an awful lot of panels coming in from other countries, China being the primary one. So we're making a lot less panels and employing a lot less people than we used to. The first half of my career here, I don't remember ever seeing any layoffs. And in the last decade, we've had layoffs, lots of short weeks, and we're just not pumping as much money into the local economy.
In Grants Pass, a town like ours relies on those large businesses to fund police, to fund sheriff, and keep the jail open. And so we're gonna have to make that up somehow if they did leave, and I don't think we could do that.
Well, if the mill was to close, I think I'd probably lose the house that I just had purchased. It's not just me, it's the whole community, because everybody puts back what they get out of working here back into the town. Some of the small businesses would probably suffer greatly.
In rural North Carolina, public education is crucial. It's an equalizer for people like me and people like my constituents who come from rural areas of our state, to give them an opportunity. And if it wasn't for entities like Columbia, Carolina, we wouldn't have that opportunity. We wouldn't be able to fund public education. We wouldn't be able to fund our law enforcement, our public safety entities. All of that comes from organizations and companies like Columbia. So without them, we wouldn't be able to provide the services that we need to provide in areas like McDowell County.
So I'm the youngest out of the generation for my family. My grandpa worked here for 50 years, and then my father's worked here for about 25 plus, and then my uncle and my cousins. So pretty much it's a family tradition. I'm 3rd generation at Timber Products.
My dad started working here in 1956. He was here for 51 years. I've had uncles that have worked here, 2 cousins. My brother works right next to me. He has been my whole life. The first time I walked in here, I was 4 years old.
Biggest impact on us is 80% of a kitchen is made up now of import. Most of our products are used in kitchen cabinetry. You know, we used to produce a lot of furniture, but most of the furniture is made in China now. Well, if nothing is done to curb the influx of Chinese imports, I see the kitchen cabinet industry going the same way that the furniture industry went, which will be consumed with Chinese cabinets. Which will decimate what's left of our industry. I mean, there will be nothing left. We're almost at a critical mass point where if something's not done, and done soon, the whole industry is at stake, at risk, you know, of imploding. I mean, just going away.
The business is slow. We might be down to 3 or 4 days a week. So morale, it takes a big toll around here. You know, people start wondering, am I going to have, you know, the money in my check this week to pay my bills, to put food on the table, to, you know, to buy a coat for my kid. It's one of those things where a month from now we could go down because we don't have the orders because China's taken over.
Definitely scared of losing my job. Because like I said, my husband works here too, so if I lose my job, then he loses his, and then what are we going to do?
We can compete with anybody with speed, price, and quality with hardwood plywood, as long as we're on an even playing field.
We have 6 kids, and none of them have been encouraged to come to work in the plywood industry because of the way it looks and things are dying.
I would ask President Trump to enforce the trade policies on the book, hold China's feet to the fire so it's a fair playing field for everybody.
We're really counting on President Trump to remove the unfair subsidies that the Chinese are using to dump plywood in the United States.
President Trump needs to stop the Chinese from cheating us out of our jobs and stand up for us, keep us working, not worry about them.
President Trump, you need to stand up to what you've promised us. Stop China from dumping all of their plywood here.
President Trump, we need you to put American hardwood plywood manufacturers first.
President Trump needs to make sure that we are playing on a level playing field.
Manufacturing is the basis of all wealth. If we don't keep the American worker working, we're going to become a service economy, and we will continue to go downhill for generations.